Welcome to Season 3, Episode 3. And I have a question for you guys. If the weather were a dragon, what color would they be? Welcome to the 10th Divine Podcast. I'm Crown S, the host of the show, and today we're getting our question answered by the Weather Dragon. How are you doing, Weather? What color and type of dragon are you, for those who don't know you?
I'm doing fine. I am just mostly white dragon, and I am a weather dragon. It's in my name, and so kind of like the way I went about like getting this name was honestly like when I was trying to look up like names for like, okay, so like I want like my online persona to be something with like storms and stuff like that, like something cloud related. And so I remember like going into DeviantArt and typing all these names I've already taken. Weather was not taken, and I was like, that's super unique and it covers all bases. And so I was like, that's actually a really good name. So I took it and used it, and over time my character kind of became like this embodiment of just all things weather. So it's my username, and it's also just the perfect description for what my character is.
That's awesome. I know I've caught some of your streams. I actually meant to catch your stream. You were streaming last night, but I ended up having to go and volunteer with not having to. I was trying to line it up to volunteer for my kids' youth group, but then didn't get confirmation till like I had to be there. I was like,
Oh,
panic.
just put it on your phone.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, phone. But it was fun. We did like an ice cream sundae bar, and so there were some interesting choices for toppings, including Frank's Red Hat Sauce gummy bears, which were
okay, interesting,
and shockingly spicy. Like I was like, okay, like it's gonna have a little bit of kick, and I bit into it. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not expecting this much from a gummy candy. Oh, oh my, panic. I am far too pale skinned for too much spicy, and it was it's also like I don't know why I picked the month of April to try and cut back on sweets and treats. But we have Easter and we have the Sunday bar thing, and like it's just cruel and unusual punishment.
It's like choosing October.
Right? So what have you been getting up to in gaming recently? Have you been checking out the season 0 for ESO? And the
Yeah, so
event?
I've been really trying to keep up with ESO a lot this year, because there's just a lot of changes. And they did that big reveal stream back in like early January, and I remember watching that, and they're just like tossing so much information at me that I'm trying to keep track of it all, because as a content creator, I'm trying to make sure that everyone knows what's going on. And even if it's not exactly lore based, I try to do my best. So lately I've been trying to keep up with everything ZOS has been putting out in terms of like released content or preview streams and stuff like that. And I've been trying to like inform people about all these changes and whatnot. And it gets kind of overwhelming because they are just unrelenting so much information, because that communication really exploded like they said it would. Like there's a lot of talking. So that lately I have been delving into these new changes with the tome and everything, and also their streams talking about future content, and just trying to understand it all so I can make sure that other people understand it too.
So it feels like a lot of information is being shared, which is what they promised us. Like, hey, we're going to be open, transparent, and we're going to share with you guys as much as we can. But I imagine that's probably a little stressful for the dev team too. Like, that's a huge change in pace for like how much interaction that they're doing.
Right. I think they do enjoy the change of pace, because with this new release schedule, they're able to respond instead of being so busy that they can't talk to any of us. Like this, it's a bunch of stuff being tossed at us, but that's only because they're no longer, so focused on a singular big release every year.
Yeah, I assume once we get through this first year of it being this way, it'll feel a lot less intense, but it's definitely interesting. So how are you liking season 0?
I'm liking it a lot with the like basically the tome obviously being the biggest thing was also the most nerve-wracking thing because this is the way that ESO is making its money now, and alongside subs and alongside crown stuff, and like if it doesn't do well, then that's that's a very scary sign. So I've been
Mm.
looking into the tome and trying to see how balanced it is, and the challenge system, which is replacing endeavors. And I've been really looking into that, and because basically for me, I play ESO a lot with my family. Like my parents play a bunch. In fact, I was just downstairs and they were playing it. So
Nice.
they really like endeavors, right? Because basically endeavors are a very easy the game gives you a quest as soon as you start, right? It's like,
Yeah.
here's what you do. And they like that because they liked the idea of getting on, doing a quest, getting a reward, very quick and simple. And endeavors went away, and so with season 0, with the tome, I was like, well, maybe the challenges will be enough to keep us occupied. And luckily, looking at the challenges, I think they're actually very well done, like 99% of it. So as I look
Mm.
at these challenges, I'm like, these are pretty balanced. They do keep me busy through the week. The only complaint I have is they dropped a seasonal one, I think, early in the week. You got to like kill like 1,000 enemies in Rothgar Hughes Bane or Gold Coast, and it's just proving to be almost impossible because everyone's doing it, and so there's no enemies.
So
And
and what classifies as the zone also isn't consistent either.
that's true. That's a great
Um,
point. Only overland. It seems like public dungeons
yeah,
don't count, and it's like, ugh,
yeah.
it's such a struggle.
I jumped into a delve. Was that last night? 2 nights ago? Because I said, oh, I'm already in Rothgar with this character, which is my DK. He's an orc. I just finally got onto him to go see what that feels like. And I was like, killed a bunch of things and went, that number hasn't gone up any. Oh, it's going to be harder than I want it to be now.
Yep, yeah, we gotta find somewhere in the overland that no one thinks about or something. And
Yeah.
I love the reroll system. I think it's fun. I think the amount of points that you get is pretty decent.
So, let's talk about some of your gaming history and like, where did you become part of the Elder Scrolls in your life? What was your first game?
Surprisingly late. I feel like a lot of people that I know, they played they started with Morrowind or Oblivion, and for me, I'm a Sky baby.
I was just gonna
So
say, you're a sky baby, aren't you?
I'm a
Hey,
Sky
makes
baby, but
sense.
like,
Weather, sky, yeah.
yeah, see, there you go. But I mean, not only that, but like I'm a late Sky baby too, because I played Skyrim when it came out, but like back then it was, let's see, late 2011, early 2012, and I thought the game series was called Skyrim. Me and everyone else thought the game
Right.
series was just called Skyrim because that's what you called it. And
Yeah.
so I played it for a bit. I had a Khajiit character and that stuff, but then I just didn't really play it again until probably like 6 years later. It's like we're talking like 2017. I was like randomly one day I decided I had a habit of gaming like after dinner, and this was on the 360, and we had Skyrim, and so I put in Skyrim, and I was like, well, I'll play Skyrim for a bit, and I had no idea how that was going to change everything. I just started like playing it, as I used to, and I encountered a problem. I had a habit, because this was like so late in the evening, I had a habit of snacking while I was gaming. And like I had a bag of chips, and I was like, well, it's kind of hard for me to snack and play Skyrim as fast paced as I was playing it. I wasn't like a fan of the series like a lot of people lore wise. I was just going around hitting stuff, whatnot, running to ruins, running through them. I didn't know anything about the lore. And I was like, well, if I am going to eat these snacks, I'm gonna have to slow down my gameplay. So I started to do things like slowly walk through cities, talk to more NPCs, and read the books. And I was
That's an
like,
interesting reason to like slow down.
yeah, because I was like, I'm just gonna slow down and eat while I do some stuff. That was the catalyst that made me slow down. Because sometimes I feel like we just need a reason to slow down, and that influenced me to do so. And then not too long after, I was like, oh, this is really interesting. Like everything that I'm seeing here is really interesting, because you read a book and you're like, I don't know what the heck is going on. And then you read another book and you're like, wait, that was something that was referenced in the previous book. And so like it took me a while to beat Oblivion, but I have beat it. I still haven't beat Morrowind. And I have played a bit of Arena, and I played a lot more Daggerfall because I really like Daggerfall.
Nice.
And but yeah, so I have gone back and played, I've played some Blades, I've played Legends. So I try to
Blades
play
coming to
all
a
of the games
close,
I
eh?
can get my hands on. So what?
They're shutting down Blades.
Yeah, they're shutting down Blades. I've been meaning to get back into it and do all I can before they do that. And I doubt it's going to be saved like Legends. That's a whole other conversation. That's a whole conversation. But yeah, I really want someone to save it, but it is not as popular as Legends. Legends got saved by the Legends Reborn project, which I haven't tried, but it sounds pretty good.
I didn't
doubt
even know
Blades is
that had
gonna get
happened.
that. Yeah, a lot of people don't really know about it, but it does exist. I don't quite know how good it is, but I am in the Discord, and
Anybody who's interested in checking that out, because I was actually just listening to the Snug podcast and they were just talking about how they wish somebody would have saved Legends. So there you go.
well, I think the project, it's technically ongoing because I don't think it's 100%, but I'm pretty sure they had some sort of playable version. But it is called it's called Elder Scrolls Legends Reborn, and I think if you type it in, you probably should get the link. But yeah, in terms of so because this was September of 2018, so Somerset had just come out. This was the summer fall event. My brother was trying to convince me to play. I was like, I don't want to play because I was listening to people who were pretty toxic about it, and so my perception of ESO is very different from how the game actually was. I perceived it as very much like a Disneyland version of Elder Scrolls. So it's like things are really close together. Like say you're in Leowen and you take like a few steps to the north and suddenly you're in the Imperial City. My reason for thinking this was because I was like, there's no way a game can be that big. And I guess the massively part of massively multiplayer did not click in my head. I had never played an MMO before. I was completely clueless on how big these games could be. So I was like, it's got to be watered down. And I heard they don't care about the lore either. I was very angry about it. And he was like, just try it. And I was like, no. So they had a deal going on, I'm pretty sure. So it's like, I bought Vardenfell in the base game for $20, and I got in, and I was like, well, yeah. I was
and
like,
my brain went
wow,
pop.
Wow. I remember right. I think it was right before I got in. I did look up a YouTube video on how big the maps were, because again, that was a big concern of mine. And one of the players was like walking on the beach of Vardenfell, pulls out his map and zooms out, and I was like, holy crap. So within the first like hour or two of playing ESO, I loved it. I was like, it's not Skyrim, but it's also not totally different from Skyrim. It's like this nice mix. I was like, I understand the UI. You can physically go up and punch things and hit things, and I was like, it's very Elder Scrolls-y, but it's also allowing me to explore with other people. And I was like, you have to get on this game. I was wrong. there's so much love put into this.
Oh yeah,
You know,
it's definitely
it's just
labor of
like
love.
you feel that I guess the base of what I was worried about was I was worried there was just no love. I thought it was like just exclusively a watered down cash grab. But I got in it and I was like, no, this is respectful of the entire franchise from like Arena to Skyrim. You know, it's like all these. I mean, nothing's really left out. Like a lot of content in ESO is originated from Arena. They go that far back,
Oh yeah.
and I just I'm always excited to see when they do that. So that's
So I know from having checked out your content stuff, you do VR stuff. Have you done Skyrim VR?
I've been. It's so funny. Now, my brother, in the exact same way, is trying to get me to do Skyrim VR, and I'm also just kind of like, I'm not against it, but also I don't have a lot of room in my room to be
Yeah.
swinging my arms around. I do a lot of VR chat, but it doesn't usually involve
Flailing.
swinging weapons. Yeah. also, it's the idea where it's like I would have to start a whole new save, and maybe I could port my save into it, but it's like that's a lot of work.
Okay.
So my brother's very much like VR is the future of gaming, but for me, I see VR as a great like immersion and communication method, right? But like in terms of gaming, I haven't quite caught on to it yet. I'm very arcadey. I'm very old fashioned. I play a lot. I just love the mouse and keyboard. I'm a PC gamer personally.
So with ESO and coming to terms with your earlier perceptions of it being inaccurate, what would you say is your favorite chapter or DLC that we've had so far? Is it Somerset because that's where you jumped on, or is it something else?
Interestingly enough, even though like Somerset was the newest release when it started or when I got on, I started with Vardenfell because I had bought the Vardenfell like deal first, and then I bought the Somerset dealio after that. So I started on Vardenfell, and I decided not to leave that chapter for like I was like, I'm going to stick here and I'm going to learn the game. I'm not going to leave. So I have a huge attachment to that chapter. Like it's like the music and everything, like be it original or nostalgic, from like Morrowind. I really just intrinsically connected to the Vardenfell chapter, the Morrowind one. If I'm looking at it from like a stand back and observe all the chapters, I might have to choose Necrom as my favorite. And
I still haven't checked it out.
What?
I haven't checked out Necrom yet. I own it. Haven't touched it.
Well, I obviously I won't be talking about any spoilers, but it's got a big spoiler attached to it. I think that's what makes
they spoiled
incredible.
it themselves when they released.
They
did.
Gold
Road. Yeah. So
they gave us a year with that, and honestly, I actually got it spoiled before the chapter even released, but I don't like to talk about that. Yeah. But that being said, though, I guess that's a testament of how good the chapter is, because that like even with that, the chapter is probably my favorite.
how about subsystems within the game? What's the one that you really feel adds value to us for the players?
Subsystem being like scribing or like
scribing, or jewelry, as I've been as Minwi reminded me that didn't used to exist like it does nowadays, and it's just been in the game for so long I forgot.
Yeah.
Tales of Tribute, anything that's been added to the game that's not part of the core.
It's got to be scrying. I think scrying dominates. It kind of like covers all the corners for ESO because it introduces like it's an interesting like gameplay loop for one. It introduces mythic items, which people have really loved. People like using mythics, and so people are always like going around and harvesting for these. And also the fact that ZOS incorporated lore into the scrying system, like where they write like bits of lore for even if you're collecting a mythic item, like each of those little pieces of the mythic item has like 3 codex each I think. So it's like each one has 3 codex pieces.
The next tricky one, who's your favorite companion?
This is a tough one. Sharp's my top.
Sharp's your top?
I think Sharp's my top. I love his story, and I love the vocal direction they went with him. He's just always nice to have around. He's like he's like amusing, but he also knows, when to be serious, and he's also really, really easy to please because you repair your gear or your enchantments, and he's pleased. So he's not very picky either. So yeah, and then
Who's
after
your
that,
least
probably
favorite?
Ember. Least favorite. Oof.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know because I feel like a couple of them I don't know really well enough. Like literally, I haven't spent enough time with Isabel at the moment. I'm trying to. Literally, she came out in this High Isle, so that was like 4 years ago, and I still haven't really. I only recently put her in an outfit because I was like, I didn't have an outfit for her, so I haven't spent enough time with Isabel, and so I have to probably just maybe default to her because I just don't know enough about her, and not out of like, I don't like her.
Yeah,
but
I
something to
I
do.
only have the two most recent ones, so I haven't spent any time with the older ones. We're going to roll over to the mid break. If you're enjoying the show, please let others know. Leave a review on whatever platform you're listening to the show on or watching the show if you're checking out a video. Rating and reviewing the show will help other people find it and will help the show grow. And the more it grows, the easier it is to do more episodes and, find guests to come on and that fun stuff. If you'd like to get in touch to the show, you can find us on Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, and on YouTube with at 10th Divine Podcast. You can email us at 10th Divine Podcast at gmail.com, or you can leave a comment on Spotify. You can also find me, myself, with at Crown SOESS0 in all those same places, as well as on Twitch. And if you'd like to support the show or any other creative endeavors I have on the go, you can go to ko-fi.com/the Pearce Family, Pearce. Of course, I always like you guys to go and check out my friends over at robotsradio.net or over at bonusroll.gg for a plethora of other podcasts with different focuses and styles and so much content of so many fandoms that a lot of us are also into besides Elder Scrolls and some Elder Scrolls stuff too. As for Extra Life, the Extra Life, this is last year's shirt. I do have this year's shirt. I don't like it as much. I got to size up and it's like thinner material. Yeah, don't like the way it sits on me. But one thing I learned by getting these shirts is you got to order them a little larger because you can wear them lots. They do shrink eventually. And nothing's really changed since the last episode of the show. You can still check out the show links for the team page and for my personal fundraising page to help support Children's Miracle Network hospitals, where the team is sitting at $358. Yeah, if you guys want to find out more information, hit me up on that too. Extra Life is a great way to help support children's health on 170 different locations across North America. Alrighty, Weather. We're going to dig in a little bit more about yourself and being a VTuber.
It's so funny the actual origin now that I sit there and think about the lore. Obviously, like my character, my son has been around. I've had him for well over 10 years. I think so, and so that's different from like actually being a VTuber because I used to use Facecam, right? And that's how most people knew me from 2019 streaming to 2023, I think late 2023 is kind of when I used my Facecam, and eventually I stopped that because I got COVID. I don't look exactly that great, like the epitome of health, and also I had to move my entire computer setup downstairs for a bit so I could like keep tabs on our dog, and so I basically was like, okay, well, one, I don't, and two, I had to move my entire PC setup. So now behind me, I've got a plain blank wall, and I don't want to have my face cam on because it's just not a good mix. And and so I was like, I'm just going to take a PNG of me, kind of like what you're seeing now. I'm going to take a PNG of me. I'm just going to slap it on the stream. And so I streamed like that for a while. A lot of coughing. I streamed like that for a while. And then I was like, eventually I was like, well, I don't really want to go back to Facecam. I kind of like this. I was like, what if I develop this into like what if I just become a VTuber? And so I look up a program called VatoTube. It's incredibly user friendly. Like, I'm not great with software. I am not a tech guy. So I start making this VTuber, and I'm looking through the different options. I'm assuming that you've seen mine. Um, I was looking through the different options, like what you can do with a VTuber, and one of the
Yeah.
options was you can kind of have it bob around like it's in the water or floating in the air. And I was like, oh, I could do something with that. I could put myself on a cloud, and I could be like slowly moving around. And so I developed my VTuber based on that. It's very fun to do, and it's very fun to like add emotions over time, and then see how those emotions look. And it's kind of hard to set up because each different emotion needs to look like it needs to fit, like the line art size needs to be perfect and all that. It needs to make sure it looks right. So it is a bit difficult, but it's very fun to work on. So I don't really mind being like in person. It's just
Mm.
that I think that it's just more interesting and cooler to have like a VTuber and stuff like that. And I love creatively expressing myself in that way.
So do you do all your own artwork for your character then?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm too
Nice.
cheap to do anything else. uh,
Fair.
anything you
Fair.
see, uh, like be it my profile picture or my VTuber or anything like that, I draw it on myself.
So do you have any lessons or insights that you would offer to someone if they were trying to get started in either VR or the VTuber thing?
Well, let's see. VR is easy. Don't go into public worlds unless you're ready. that's that's just the first thing. If you want to get into VR chat, don't like if you're getting into VR chat, be careful. You know, just be cautious. Start out small and then slowly ease your way in, and get age verified if you can. But other than that, let's see. In terms of Twitch, like getting started with streaming, so I say if you're going to be streaming, give yourself a schedule, but feel free to break that schedule. Like, if it's not working for you, and two, if you genuinely just don't feel like streaming a certain day, just try to give
Take care
yourself a
of
break.
yourself.
Yeah, because I mean, like, it's you're streaming for you, and a lot of times streamers get carried away and think of their audience 100% of the time, but it's like your audience is great, but it's like you need to take care of yourself, because it's like if you think of your audience too much while streaming, you end up doing things like only playing games that they want you to play. That's a big problem, because people get carried away and they're like, I'm looking at my algorithm, and people really seem to like it when I play this game compared to when I played this other game. And if you start thinking that way, the burnout comes way faster. Way
You're
faster.
not giving yourself joy if it's not things that you're enjoying for yourself too.
Right. You're a performer. You're gonna be like, eventually you're gonna be like, I want to be more myself, and I'm worried how people are gonna handle that, because audience where people just might not like who I am. So be yourself. That's what I say. As Disney as it sounds.
Yeah. Is there any other hobbies besides streaming, gaming, and the things that we've talked about that you would like to share with people about yourself, or what do you think?
Well, I guess we have tackled drawing. I do enjoy doing art. Let's see. I I'm really like, I guess it seems very odd to say social media posting, but I do have
That's a
I
hobby.
think
It's a job
I
for
guess
some
so.
people.
That is true. I refuse to make it a job for me. So but it's I basically that's where I think that's where most people is from social medias. They're like Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever. It's because it's not really Twitch. So I made my Twitter back in like 2022 probably or something, and I made it for what's the word? Uh, Not cross promoting. I made it so I could really like get myself out there about my Twitch. I'd be like, I can post about when I'm live. I
Yeah.
can post clips from my Twitch. I could advertise myself. That's why I made it. It didn't end up really being that way. It eventually started being a place where I was trying to. I want to teach like lore, and I want to, I want to make things. I want to make memes and stuff for people to laugh at, and I started enjoying that more and more.
You're
And
doing well
eventually,
enough with the memes that Elder Memes complimented you for your memes on the last episode that they were on the show with me. So
yeah, it's the highest honor. It's really the highest honor that I can have. It's like if I make a joke and I see that the Elder Memes liked it, I see that icon. I'm like, okay, I made
yes,
it. You know, I made it. That's
victory.
the diamond award. So yeah,
funny.
and honestly, like I make a lot of posts, and so like when I would go to the ESO dinners at QuakeCon, which I've done 2 years in a row. I've been like recognized, like not by my face because people don't really know me like physically that well, but like
Yeah.
they see the name and they know me. So
Hey.
yeah, because I went to my first QuakeCon dinner, and so I remember going there and I was nervous as heck. Obviously, it's like I'm all alone. I'm not with anyone else. A lot of people, they're at QuakeCon with their friends, right? They're at QuakeCon with their family and whatever. And I am just not. It's QuakeCon is in the DFW Metroplex. Is you know, it's like I can get there. I can get to the building pretty easy from where I am, and so I just kind of take a drive there, and I'm there by myself, and I'm thinking I don't know anybody. I might recognize one or two Twitch streamers, but they don't know me. I just know their faces because I've seen them on my screen. Yeah. And so I was feeling kind of nervous. And then I remember sitting at a table by myself. I had it was a big table. I had a couple other people settle on that table, and we're like having a conversation, but it's really not much, and I'm feeling very lonely. And then I hear my name called out from the heavens. Weather Dragon, you know? And I'm like, what?
Hi.
Like, is that God? Like, what? I'm like, what did I hear? And so I'm like, okay, maybe I was just hearing things, and just Weather Dragon. I was like, no, that's my name. So I turn around and I see that over by where they're doing the name sign-ins, like they've got everyone's names and badges, and they're calling me over there, and something went wrong with my invitation. You know, I had done something wrong, and I'm gonna get kicked out. And
panic.
So I get over there, and I'm climbing the stairs, and the social media manager for ZOS is up there, and she shakes my hand. She says, "I'm a huge fan."
That's awesome.
And at that point, I was like, "Oh,
you know me?
Yeah." I was like, "You know me?" I'm like, I'm a lot more seen than I thought that I was, apparently, because I was like, okay, I was like, heart rate goes up. I'm like, you know me from like Twitter? She's like, yeah, and so I get called down to do an interview, because they were doing some interviews with fans. I actually don't know if it ever got published anywhere because I can't find it. Which is like lost media. If anyone finds an interview with Weather Dragon from QuakeCon 2024, let me know. But so I did an interview, which was a little bit more nerve-wracking because having a webcam is different. Having a webcam on you is different than having like a big like industrial camera like on you. It's like, oh, okay, this is a bit more. And so I do an interview, and then I sit back at the table, and the table are just kind of like, who are you? It's like, what's going on? I was like, apparently they know me from Twitter. So yeah, that's when I was realized, I was like, oh man, people apparently like really do see my posts a lot. And yeah,
that's fantastic.
We met up
that's
last year too. Yeah, it was nice.
And it's like it's gonna be a new core memory for you for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, I was thinking like, I cannot wait to tell my family. Like they are not. I was like, I'm not going to text them about it. I'm going to wait until I am home, and I'm going to tell them. So it was it was definitely surreal. Probably definitely like one of the most surreal things that I've experienced.
That's awesome. Can't say I have a similar thing. Being out in the sticks in the Great White North here, I don't see too much of the rest of the fandom. So whether
Not too. That's interesting.
hmm,
You
um,
think that there'd be a lot?
you know what? People might like Skyrim, but people don't like coming to actual Skyrim.
It's too cold. It's too
It's
cold. Yeah.
like Friday it hit plus 15 Celsius, so I think that's like 7 degrees.
Yeah, it's nice here. 67 degrees. Fahrenheit.
Yeah, so I won't see that for probably another month-ish if we have a hot start to the summer. If
Yeah.
if but usually June before I start seeing that kind of weather, and then it's
Mm,
and then like we just I just had snow like cover the road, bury the road in snow like 5 days ago, and then it was plus 15 on Friday, melted everything.
wild.
This place has great weather.
I mean, obviously, as weather, I find all weather interesting, and it all has its value. But I'm like, like, I've got a favorite. I've got a favorite. I got a preference. My preference is right now. We're talking like maybe 70s, in 80s, and also like stormy. That's like, yeah, that's my element. Um, so that's my personal favorite.
So that's the perfect segue into our For Funsies questions, because one of our For Funsies questions for you today was actually of what is your favorite time of year? So stormy spring season, that's your favorite time of year?
Yeah, I would say so because like I'm in Texas and it gets warm, but it's not like summer warm. I do like summer too a lot. Like summer storms are amazing, but like I think that probably this time of year is my favorite, where we really just get a lot of storms and it's a great temperature outside and the sky is just amazing down here. I've lived here for 20 years now. I think God probably around exactly. And like I was born in Las Vegas. We don't really have a lot of different weather there. It's kind of just like blue sky and
Desert?
heat and yeah, we did get snow once to my
Ooh,
knowledge, but yeah, it was interesting. But like
or would be.
basically it was just kind of like rain storms were kind of a mythical beast for me when I lived in Vegas um, for so long, from like 1995 to 2006. So
Hmm.
it was like a mythical beast, and I was listening to like CDs and stuff of rain sounds, thunderstorm sounds, and being like, I love this. And then I moved to Texas, and we got a tornado our first spring, and it was like I was like, okay, this
Dude,
is really different. This is super cool. And I've been here for 20 years, and like I've never gotten tired of it. I love the weather here.
yeah, the running joke in Alberta is if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. Um,
Yeah,
and like by August already, it'll be, um, you know, you'll be walking across frozen puddles in the morning. You'll be splashing in those puddles in the afternoon. And then if you're walking back somewhere in the evening, you're slipping on them because they're now
yeah,
a
they'll
nice polished
refreeze.
ice. Yeah. Um, in August, you go camping up anywhere near the mountains here, and you'll wake up with snow on your tent in the morning, and then it'll be like 30 degrees in the afternoon, which is like around that 60, 69, 70 mark Fahrenheit.
Mm,
And then it'll be back to frozen by the time you're done your night. So it's good
that's
times.
quite a contrast. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all over the place. This time of the year in the spring, we have the same kind of yo-yo weather. It's like day by day, all over the place, and um, it gets kind of awkward because you're like, well, is it gonna stay warm enough I can do anything with the ground or not? Maybe I do groundskeeping right now, so it's kind of a lot of, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, how do I dress?
Yeah, always
What's
in
plan?
layers. It's always in layers.
Hmm.
It's just knowing which layers is sometimes the tricky part. So whether which of the factions do you call home in ESO?
um, I'm not really like a lot of people really get into the factions, but for me, factions really only come into play during White Strikes because it's like when White Strikes is a thing, I'm in Cyrodiil, I'm in the Imperial City, and that's pretty much the only time I focus on it. But I am Ebonheart Pact because my main is an Argonian.
Hmm.
Uh, and I think like I've got what, three Argonian characters. I don't have any Dunmer or Nord characters, but so I've got some Ebonheart Pact characters that I use. I do find them really interesting. If I had to, I guess, choose one that I called home, I would go with that one.
Yeah. Also EP for myself, also main and Argonian. What is your favorite quest or story in ESO? What's one that stands out for you?
It's one of those like any given day might have a different answer, but like off the top of my head, I really like the I remember really liking the Sadras Memora storyline where the one with like Sun and Shadow, where she's like rising through the ranks to be a Telvanni, and there's like it's I like it because she's like the main person that you keep coming back to for this quest line, but she's just such a flawed person, just like so she's just struggling like this internal struggle, and she's having you do these things, and to the point where you're like wondering like should I be doing these things for you, and um like there's a point where she just completely like disregards your agency, and
Mm.
like you think you're making a choice, but she just doesn't let you make that choice because she's just getting like so like confident with herself and bold to make these decisions. And I just found it really interesting, and I also kind of realized this when like certain points on a map had like longer quest lines that went on for a while.
Yeah.
It's also got a great quest reward. It's got a whole personality. It's a quest reward. I mean that's just like
Oh.
the cherry on top. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a really good quest line. That might be my favorite. It's definitely one of my favorites. So
Hmm. The one that lives rent free in my head is the vegetable garden in Clockwork City.
is that the Everwound?
Um,
Um,
it's just there's like that little. It's like a private villa off in would be the southeast corner of the map there, and turns out that he's growing all these plants there by draining the life force from other things.
yeah, I think that was Everwound. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that one. I remember going in there and thinking like I've watched enough Doctor Who. This guy's definitely using people. I know the plot twist here. Like this is not gonna go well.
I figured it out as I went along, but I was still like, oh my, when
Yeah, it's
you get
horrifying.
to the story, to you get to the climax of the story, and you're just like, oh god,
Hmm.
this. Uh, so I'm curious, but I think I may know your answer. If you could bring a race or creature from Nirn onto Earth, what would it be?
It's probably gotta be an Argonian. If we go race Argonian, if we go creature, you think I would go like dragon. It feels kind of weird to call them creatures though. They're kind of like above what I would define as creature. But if
Sentient
we
animalistics.
yeah, but if we're going like creature, if we take like the right precautions, I really want to see a Wamasu. I love Wamasu. Like they made Wamasu, they were like, let's make a big lightning lizard, and
Hmm.
I'm like, that's perfect for me. And they live in Black Marsh too. I mean, like, it's all just really perfect for me. So yeah, I love Wamasu.
So, would you want Argonians just humanoid lizards, like lizard men, or do you want like histories with their Argonian servitudes?
Uh, I think that whereas we've seen that the Argonians can survive without a hist, I feel like if we're really getting into it, I feel like the Argonians would need the hist. I feel like if we're really getting into it, Earth is
Hmm.
not made to um like handle Argonians without a hist, because like on Solstice they can utilize the unique properties of Nirn to persist, but Earth is more boring than Nirn, and so I feel like the Hist would probably need to come along with the Argonians if they're going to show up.
Okay, that's fair. Argonian behemoths, yes or no?
Yes. Well, I mean, like if we are talking about like by default, like are they like exclusively behemoths or behemoths along with non-behemoths?
They are permitted to be brought over as well, or no?
I think that it would be cool if we had them brought over as well. Also, really, so I don't know. It would be like what are the conditions? How far away are they from society? I mean, the Argonian behemoths. There's some nice ones that aren't they're not always beating people up. So
I feel like it would be like Swamp Thing protecting his green.
Yeah.
There's a lot of green. Rainforest might have less of a deforestation issue.
Yeah.
So how about the other way around? Whether there's some creature or something that you would take into Nirn? Like, do they need kangaroos?
Can I count? Just like myself? Like, can I just isekai myself into Tamriel and be like, oh, this is where I live now?
Yeah.
I mean, like, if I did that, it's like sometimes I think, where would I live? Because there's a lot of it is a very dangerous world. I mean, I remember having a conversation with my brother about like what's more like scary / depressing. Would it be Fallout or the Elder Scrolls? Like if you had to live there, and I'm like, Elder Scrolls has a lot more like. I feel like Elder Scrolls has a lot more unbelievable horrors than Fallout because like it gets really like crazy spiritual and stuff like that, and Fallout's more grounded. But Fallout's just definitely more depressing, and I would prefer to live in Tamriel because like there's a lot of people in Tamriel, like entire people just live their lives normally, like as peasants or whatnot.
Yeah.
But not everyone encounters a Daedric prince or a ghost. I feel like there's a lot more people that just live their lives in Tamriel, even though it has a greater chance of being super dangerous. I would like to be in Tamriel, and I feel like I would know how to navigate so that I wouldn't run into Daedric princes and stuff. I'd be like, nah, not going there. I know about that place. That's dangerous.
That statue has a face. It could talk to me. I'm going to walk the other way.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, for sure. What's the biggest moment you've had in your gaming lifetime that you wish you could relive for the first time?
I would say, are you still okay with spoilers?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to be talking about the Elsewhere main story. This was like 2019, so it's been quite a while. So I'm sure a lot of people have probably done it. So I remember this moment in ESO is my favorite moment. I have two favorite moments, but I feel like this one might be bigger. So I always quest with my family. So like when we're doing main quests and stuff like that, we're always like me and my parents and my brother used to play a lot, so we would always be questing together and experiencing these huge stories. And at the like end of the Northern Elsewhere main quest line, which is like halfway through the Year of the Dragon storyline, there's this moon gate. This huge gate in Elsewhere that has like the spinning bits, and like it basically it does open a portal that literally leads to the moon of Jode, right? And like I remember thinking, like they're just gonna talk about that. They're just gonna talk about that, but like, we're not actually gonna
go
see that. And the ending of the fight, you're being attacked by dragons and everything. It's so very intense. Like the sky is gray and eclipse is happening. And eclipse is happening, and it's like the sky looks crazy, and the moons are lining up, and the gate is activated, and the dragons just fly in. The dragon flies right in there, and goes vroom through the portal. And I'm thinking, we have to go in. You go into the portal. You end up on the moon of Jode. I was mind blown. I was like, this is unlike anything that I never thought that Elder Scrolls would bring us here. And so I'm just like looking around, almost like I'm time traveling or something, like eyes wide open, trying to take into account like this is real. And and like you have this big fight at the end, and it's just crazy the fact that it's like, oh, we went to the moon. I remember thinking at work, I was like, I can't believe that they actually let us go to the plane of Jode, in an Elder Scrolls game. It's all I could think about at work. I was like, that was just crazy. And I'd love to experience that again, because I think that like it's one of those things that ZOS does that I love. ZOS just like, they get bold. They're like, we're gonna do this thing, and they don't play it like 100% like safe all the time, but they're like, oh, we don't know if people would like that or not. But they're like, we're gonna do this thing. And that was definitely like probably my biggest gaming moment, definitely my biggest ESO moment. I was like, that's just crazy. And I'm like,
I mean, that's fair.
I think
You're playing a high fantasy, um, ancient times kind of game, and then you're suddenly an astronaut. That's pretty shell shocking.
you don't expect to go to the moon, and then you'd have been here, and they've built temples and stuff like on the moons, and it's just it's very, very cool.
That is. All right. What is your favorite in-game location? And that can be from any game, but what's your favorite in-game location?
I think I think it has to be ESO, but I'm kind of ping-ponging between two different places. I mean, like off the top of my head, Fargrave is really cool. I've been really into Fargrave. I wrote a whole article on the Magna G in Fargrave that actually got published, which is pretty crazy. I'm that big of a fan, where I just like wrote a whole thing about it, and I'm just a huge fan of that location. But I don't know if it's my favorite. And then there's the Library of Arxand underneath the Reach, which is also a bit of a. This is going to be a 2020 spoiler, like a Markarth story spoiler. If you do the main story and you find the Dark Heart and you go to the Library of Arxand and the Dark Heart is just like sitting there, the vibes in that room, just my jaw drops, because it's like it just kind of looks like a weird artifact at first, but once you know the lore behind it and everything, the entire aura of that room just feels completely different. And so sometimes I find myself just going there and standing there and listening to it and just like thinking, it's wild. It's a very, very
I apparently
cool vibe.
need to check this out because when Minwei was on the show a couple episodes ago, this was actually his moment he would like to relive, was just being in awe of the heart at Markarth.
Yeah, it's honestly like if I had another hour to talk, I think it's one of like the cool things that ZOS has really delved into, because it's like they really capitalized it. Like they set it up at like the end of 2019 and really paid it off in 2020, and it was really only a payoff for like the lore nerds who are paying attention. Like you don't need to be a lore nerd to appreciate it, but once you are, you see it really differently. And I think it's just one of the coolest things that ESO has added, and I'm a big fan of it. So that's definitely one of my favorite places to just kind of vibe.
Awesome. What has been your least favorite gaming experience?
Oh boy, oh man, I don't know. Because even bad memories have sometimes bad memories do a thing where you're like, it's just so annoying at the time, and then time goes by and you're like, it's kind of funny when you look back at it.
Yeah.
And you kind of like appreciate it a bit more because you're like, hey, it gave me a good story. But I don't know. Let me think. I'm wondering if it's something to do with like a public world in VR chat. You know what? That might be it. I went you know what? That might be it. Because I decided VR chat's got like public worlds, and then it's got like age verified worlds. And I was wondering like, what's the contrast between them? And I went to a public world, and I lasted like, if it was 30 seconds, I'd be surprised. I went in there and it was soul crushing.
All right, Weather, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you tell the listeners where they can find you?
You can find me on like Blue Sky, a Weather Dragon, Twitter, Weather Dragon 1, because some like inactive account took the name Weather Dragon. It's probably a bot or something. And Twitch at Weather Dragon Horde. So that's Horde like a collection, a dragon's horde. And those are the main places. You can also find me sometimes on the UESP doing the Twitch streaming. I think that's pretty much it. But it was great being here. Thank you for letting me on.
Thank you for reaching out and asking if you could come on. That was great, because at that particular point in time, I was going through some IRL stuff and I wasn't even thinking about the podcast. So it was nice to take my mind out of worldly things and focus on entertaining things and things that bring me joy, like this podcast. So I appreciate you reaching out to the show. And anyone who's listening, you could reach out to the show as well if you'd like to come on the show. You don't have to be somebody who's actively streaming, just want to share your love for the game, and I encourage you to do so. But thank you for listening or watching, tuning into the show. I aim to return more closely to a fortnight. I know there's going to be a bit of a gap between this episode and the last one, which I think was pushing a month by the time I get it edited and out to you folks. My apologies, but that is life. Hopefully in another fortnight for another lovely chat about the Elder Scrolls. Talk to you, everyone. Take care.